Okay, so now we will talk about is underemployment. So underemployment. So this is the most dangerous kind, okay? In an economy, this underemployment should never happen in any economy, okay? So why I'll tell you, because it is a situation, okay, under which people with higher level of skills are employed in less. This is happening in India, okay? Very qualified people with lot of skills, but they are getting hired in less productive jobs, okay? So less productive jobs. So it simply means that the labor force of the economy is not fully utilized as per their skill and experience. So this is very important. Now, and suppose I'll give you an example. An individual with an experienced engineering or management degree is hiring, or he is working for KFC as just as a sales executive, so, or a pizza delivery boy. So this is what is happening. So now the consequences, let us draw and let me explain you the consequences of underemployment. Yes, so let me write here. Consequences of underemployment. Okay, so this is very important. So first I will write is the downward pressure on the wages in an economy. Okay, since an engineer is willing to work as a pizza delivery boy, so that's a downward pressure. And what do we get? Two things we get. First is, it is a complete wastage. Yes, a complete wastage of skilled human capital of the economy. Okay, which will again bring a weak economic structure and low growth. So it is something like a cyclical thing. If there is a downward pressure, people are ready to, qualified people are ready to become a pizza delivery boy. So this is a wastage of human skill, and that will bring a weak economic structure and low growth. And hence again simultaneously something like a cycle. Again we will come back to downward pressure on the wages in an economy. Okay, so I'll explain to you again. So the consequences of underemployment is like the downward pressure on the wages in an economy will bring the wastage of skilled human capital of the economy, which will again bring the weak economic structure and low growth. So this is like a vicious circle which is going to go round and round and round. So this is very different, and it's an impossible thing which is very important. Okay, so now let's talk about the causes and the consequences of unemployment in India. Very important. Okay, so yes, first we will see the causes of unemployment in India. So this will, we'll take it as a case study. We'll see one by one what are the reasons of it. So the first one is lack of capital. Second is Population explosion, the too much of population, so population is more, jobs are less. Yes. Third, lack of, so you have to remember this point, students. So lack of physical infrastructure to support manufacturing. The fourth is low income, that leads to low demand for goods and services. The fifth one is there are rigid labor laws. So there are very old labor laws which are still going on and prevailing in India. So that should be reformed also. So rigid means very, very strict and very, very harsh and hard, which is not being flexible at all. So rigid is the opposite of flexible. So rigid labor laws. Then six is weak. Yes, we don't have a proper manufacturing sector, students. So manufacturing is very important. Apart from agriculture, we should also focus on manufacturing. So this is the problem which is very much arising in India. So manufacturing sector, and that is why China is beating us, because their manufacturing sector is wonderful. Okay, so weak manufacturing sector. Then there is income inequality. So rich class is more than lower class. Okay, so income inequalities. Okay, then is adoption of capital intensive production techniques. Okay, and yes, we have no, obviously when we are using more of capital intensive technology, so we are not focusing on labor. So less focus on labor intensive sector. Okay, so like construction, textile, clothing, and that is all used, which has a great potential for the laborers, but we are only using is machinery. So these are the 9 points which are the basic causes of unemployment in India. Now because of this, we will see the consequences. Because of unemployment, what are the great problems which India is facing today? So we will see that also. Yes, so we will see the consequences. So consequences of unemployment. Okay, so we'll see by one. So because of this, people are not having jobs, so obviously the crime level is increasing. So increase, everybody wants to beg, borrow and steal, so increase in crime level. The second one is loss. So there is no competition in the market, in the global market also. So loss of competitiveness. In world economy. Then third, social unrest and political instability. Okay, then fourth is low standard of living. Yes, there is an increase in poverty also, so increase in poverty and inequality. Okay, yes, and obviously there is low minimum wages. So low wages is very low in India, so low minimum wages. So you can imagine in America, one normal wage of a normal person for 1 hour is $15. So for 1 hour, a normal, the least amount of work a laborer in America does is only for 1,200 rupees per hour. So you can see how low is our minimum wages. Maximum it will be like 30 rupees or 40 rupees or 20 rupees also. So there is low minimum wages and there is a huge burden to the government. So burden on government, finances. So there is finances, okay, due to, because the government is continuously giving a lot of subsidies, and subsidies, as I said, is a very big loss to the government. So due to, because why do we give subsidies to the laborers or to the public or to the general people? So that they, at least come out from their basic, the necessities which they are not achieving. But basically the government is expecting that this should be for a short period of time, but continuous subsidies, will drain the wealth of from the government of India. So that is what is happening. So in due to, as I said, ever increasing burden of subsidies, okay, and as I said, there is an increase in poverty and inequality, and then there is a low standard of living. So these are the consequences which basically India is facing, and this is like, that is why there is a jobless growth in India. So we will talk about that also. So let's talk about the point of jobless growth in India and what are the reasons also. So the reasons of jobless growth is lack of investment. There is no physical infrastructure like roads, highways, railways. There is lack of industry. Then there is overvalued exchange rate is also very high in India. There is low investment in research and development. So there is no research and development happening. There is weak exports. So exports are also not happening, as I said. And yes, the reasons is there is no information of the economy due to laws need to be changed, labor laws. There's a too much of obsession of using capital intensive technology. So India cannot do it because we are a country of labor, so we should rather convert it like China for using labor intensive, okay. And there is complicated labor laws, as I said, which have to be changed, and this all is discouraging the the factory owners and the laborers, and that is why all the factories are stopping in India. Moreover, there is services are not growing, then weak manufacturing sector, as I told you. The transition from agriculture to manufacturing sector should happen, and which is not happening in India. And yes, the labor industries or labor intensive industries should have more of labor like construction, textiles, clothing and footwear, which is not being promoted by the government of India. So these are the basic jobs, and that is the reason there is so much of jobless growth in India. Okay, so because of this there is a big consequences. So what is the consequences? The structure of the economy right now in India has become very weak, and there is no high growth phase which will last for a long time. There is increase in casual workers, for daily wages it has increased more. There is no creation of reserve army of labor, so there is no army backing, so we don't have skilled laborers, okay. And that is why there is so much of social unrest. So let us see the social unrest because of this consequences of unemployment one by one. So yes, I will write down here social unrest, okay. So first is the Jat reservation Andolan in Haryana. Then we have the Patidar unrest in Gujarat, okay. And then we have the Martha reservation campaign in Maharashtra. Okay, so these are basically because of this. So India is losing its comparative advantage also, especially India is very good in textile, clothing and footwear, and you won't believe it, small countries are are jumping up, and they are becoming more competitive than India, like Bangladesh, then Indonesia, Philippines. So their GDP is also increased because of this, and which have become a fast hub for these productions. Okay, so dampening the economic activity in the future due to low aggregate demand will also have a direct consequence of the jobless people. Okay, so the increase in growth is mainly due to service sectors, and whatever you're seeing right now in India is because of the professionals or the service people, service sectors, whose employment elasticity or job creation is happening, but still it is low. We need more. Okay, so there must be some, because the whole world is moving towards artificial intelligence, so that is AI. So because of artificial intelligence, the labor intensive countries like India is facing big threat for us. So it's like we have to focus more on labor intensive, and we have to give jobs where the industries are attracting the labor intensive technology. Okay, so now we will talk about some other important issues. Okay, so we will talk about economics of animal rearing in India. Okay, so yes, we will talk about this, which is also coming under unemployment or employment. So economics of animal rearing, so this is a very important. So livestock is playing an important role. Now let's see, it is called as livestock. So livestock is playing a very important role in the Indian economy. So about 25 to 30 million people in India depend on livelihood. Okay, and how many people this livestock is giving a lot of, provides employment to about, so 9% employment is provided by this sector. Okay, and yes, how much does it contribute to GDP? GDP, it is 4% GDP contribution. So it's pretty good, not bad. Okay, and the livestock is basically 15% of income is from small farm households. So 15% is income from small farm households. Okay, of rural houses. So you'll see that two major occupations are very important in the rural sector. One is agriculture and then is livestock. So livestock sector provides almost, if I can say, it provides 65% of rural population employment. So livestock is very much important, and animal rearing plays a very important job or a position in the world market also. Now we will see that how is India's position in the global livestock economy. Okay, so let me delete this. So yes, India's position in global livestock economy. So first, let me keep on giving you some information. India ranks first in exports of buffalo trade. India ranks second in the largest cattle wealth. So we have a lot of cattle, so cattle wealth in the world. Okay, third, India ranks third in global population of sheep. Okay, then fourth, India has fifth highest population of ducks and chicken. So So these are the achievements. So that is why there is a lot of importance, because as I said, so there is a lot of importance of food, of livestock sector in the Indian economy. Now, why is it so? First, it ensures food and nutritional security. Through this, we get a lot of food and nutrition. And then secondly, it contributes in the production of fiber and hide skin. So skin of the animal is very important, like wool, hair, hides, etc. And then the cow dung and other animal waste, they serve as a very good farmyard in manure. Okay, so it's a very important thing. Then it also contributes in the production of biogas and biodiesel. So that is also very important. And yes, it is also, this animal rearing is also very important, because this cattle dung is also utilized for weed and pest control. Okay, and livestock also provides cushion to farmers at the time of drought. So when there is drought and when there is no production of agriculture going on, so they stick on to their livestock. So it is something like a secondary job for them. So if the primary job is not working, they will stick on to livestock. So livestock provides cushion to farmers at the time of droughts, and it is an essential source of farmers for non-farm income. So even if the farmers are not working at home, at least through buffalo they will get the milk, or through chickens they can eat the chicken, they can have eggs. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? They can sell the chickens, they can sell milk. Okay, so importance of livestock in achieving inclusive growth. So that is what India is now focusing on, livestock. And that is why 48% of the rural households are controlling. So more than half of the country's cattle and buffalo is having the contribution in India. So livestock has become very important source of livelihood for small farmers, and they contribute about 16% of their income. So like states like Gujarat, where the income is much high, people are more into livestock, so there is 24.4% there. Then Haryana also is very good in livestock, and about the buffalo, so 24.2% also. Punjab also is, nevertheless, is also there in the same pipeline, and that is why it is also contributing 20.2%. And yes, followed with Bihar, because Bihar is a state which is also focusing on livestock. So the agriculture sector almost focuses 50%, 57% of the total working population, and about 73% of the rural labor force. So basically 73% of India are in the villages. So livestock is only 8.8%. So that is what the government is saying, that why not these people also shift into livestock, because they are all contributing to agriculture. So if they focus more on livestock, then it will be a 50-50 kind of a thing. So what is happening is, like northeastern states to, like the livestock is basically, they're not contributing much. So that is why the share of women employment in livestock is also very high in Punjab and Haryana. So there the women are breeding a lot of livestock there, and the distribution of pattern of income and employment also show that these small farm households have more opportunity in livestock production. That is what India is trying to do. India is trying to focus more on livestock. Okay, so the growth in livestock in the sector is in demand, in inclusive for the people who are very poor. So like so states where there is a rural poverty, where there is a lot of poverty in the villages, like Punjab, Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Kerala, Gujarat and Rajasthan, where livestock is the bread for them. So these states are completely contributing the lifestyle, and because of this they have a sizable share of agriculture income as well as for their employment, and they are also focusing on livestock. So that is why India, as well as from other developing countries, suggests that livestock development has been an important route. So livestock cannot be neglected, because it's an important route for the poor households to escape poverty. So if they are very poor, if they want to escape poverty, they have to be into livestock. Okay, so that is very important.